Yo, what's up guys, Drill's back with it again. Today we're going to be kicking off a new series all about making jewelry for FiveM in Blender. This is episode 1 and today we're going to be showing you how to make a pendant and cover it in diamonds, add prongs, all of that type of stuff. So let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to open up a new Blender page and we're going to add a mesh cylinder. In the bottom left hand corner we've got this parameters box and we're going to increase the vertical vertices. And this is going to add more subdivisions to the edge. It's going to make it look more circular, but at the same time we don't want to add too many, so I usually find my sweet spots around 50. Alright, so next thing we're going to select the object and we're going to scale it down on the Z axis. Going to be looking for something medallion or coin shaped. Once we're happy with the thickness, we're going to select our object. We're going to go into edit mode. We're going to select faces and we're going to select this top face. We're going to hit I to insert and we're going to drag this face in just a little bit just to give ourselves a little bit of a rim.
What did he say?
Right, next we're going to hit E to extrude. We're actually going to be intruding it, but E to extrude, that's the shortcut. There we go, just like that, boom. So we've got our basis for a pendant there, so we're going to go ahead and add some diamonds. Now these diamonds come with a plugin that already comes with Blender, but the only thing is you do have to enable it. So if you go to edit, then preferences, then go to the add-ons tab, type in mesh and look for the extra meshes add-on and then just tick the box. And that's going to give you all these extra meshes, diamonds, some other bits and bobs in there too, but for now we're just going to be focusing on the diamonds. There's actually 3 types of diamonds you can add. There's diamond, brilliant, diamond and gem. For this one we're going to be using the diamond. So we're going to go ahead and add a diamond. And again, under the parameters you're going to be able to play around with this. You're going to be able to change how many facets there are and stuff like that. I usually don't play with this stuff too much. I just change the segments to around 10. Of course you can have more or less down to your liking, but of course the more you have, the more faces you add into your model. Now we want to get rid of the bottom bit, so we're going to look at it from the side view. We're going to go into edit mode, we're going to select vertices and we're going to delete this bottom vertex. Then we're going to turn on X-ray mode, we're going to select this bottom set of vertices and we're going to extrude downwards. If we hit our Z key, that will extrude purely on the Z axis. And then we're going to do S to scale the bottom in a bit, so it's got a bit more of a diamond gem looking shape. That's looking good. Right, so now we're going to multiply our diamonds. We're going to go into modifiers and we're going to add a generate array modifier. If we turn up our count, we're going to get more diamonds across the X axis at present because that's the one we got selected. We could add another array modifier and there is a way to use constant offset to do this, but we are going to do it differently. So if you are following along, I would probably say pause and don't copy yet because I'm going to do it differently in a minute and I'll show you why. So with the second array modifier, if I zero out the X factor and change the Y factor, it will start moving them upwards. But I don't like to have my diamonds perfectly aligned like this. I like to have them like a brick formation, because it just looks a bit more realistic and leaves less gaps on the actual object itself. Now if we try to change our X factor like this, we can actually achieve this. So yeah, that's kind of the look I'd be looking for, but as you see, the more I add now, the more it leans to the side. So if I was to scale it down to the right size, move it around a little bit just so we can see how it's going to look on that object, and I start adding them, you'll see it becomes very complicated. So I'm going to get rid of the second array modifier, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the first one and then I'm going to add a second one. This will actually help to do this a lot easier. So we're going to zero out the factor X, then we're going to add some to the factor Y, We're going to get it lined up nicely, and then we're going to go back and adjust the factor X to get that offset that we was looking for originally. You might need to actually edit the number directly as opposed to just using the arrows, because the arrows only jump up one number at a time. You might need like half a number or a quarter of a number or whatever. But now if we increase our count, you'll see we've got something looking a lot better. However, I do want to adjust that slightly still, because that's still not how I want it. So yeah, look, that's the look I'm trying to achieve. Brick formation diamonds. We're just going to scale them down so there's more in one place. And we're going to lower that slightly just so that our rim of our pendant pokes through the edge of the diamonds. We're going to go ahead and apply that modifier. And we're going to add a Boolean modifier. This is going to carve the cylinder into the diamonds. So if we go ahead and hide our cylinder, you'll see that it hasn't actually done it correctly this time. And the reason is because the diamonds are too close to the top of the rim. So we're going to cancel that. We're going to select our diamonds. I'm actually just going to move the origin over so that I can see the arrows, and I'm just going to move them down slightly. So we want the rim to be poking through, but we don't want the diamonds to be touching the faceplate. Then we're going to re-add the Boolean modifier. And as you can see, that's carved the circle edge out of the diamonds. This is going to make it a lot easier to delete the diamonds around the edge. Now I just want to shout out even all odds for this trick, because he did actually teach me this. Now if we go into edit mode and we press C, we can actually paint on our vertices to delete. But before we do that, we need to make sure that we select the X-ray, because otherwise you're just going to have loads of vertices like left, the ones that didn't get selected because they was underneath. So go into X-ray mode and hit C, get the brush size you want by scrolling your mouse wheel, and just go ahead and select everything around the edge. If you hit X and then delete vertices, it will get rid of what we've already selected. And I'm going to get a little bit closer on these ones so that I don't mess it up. Now you see there I made a mistake, I went inwards. Now I'm going to make another mistake just to show you what I mean, but when you use C and you're selecting your vertices, if you right click your mouse, it will select that area and then you could redo it again. So I've selected that area. Now if I was to go back into the brush, it will continue to select, but if I make a mistake, I can Control Z and get rid of that last bit without getting rid of all of it. So you might want to bear that in mind when you're selecting vertices like this, because you might want to regularly click out of the brush just to make sure that you don't make a mistake and have to do it all again. I'm just going to speed this part up because you obviously get the method. Now for these little extra bits, I'm going to go around, I'm going to use the L tool, which is going to select the linked. And we're just going to go around and get rid of any little pieces that are just like overhanging the rim. Now some people want to be more precise with this. They want to make the diamonds smaller so there's nothing like half cut or anything like that. You can do that of course, but for the purpose of the tutorial, we're just going to do it like this. Alright, so next we're going to look from the X view and we're going to add a loop cut, which is Control R. Now if you scroll your mouse wheel, you're going to get multiple subdivisions. You could do it like this, but we're not actually going to do it like this, but just to demonstrate, this is what will happen if you scroll the mouse wheel. But we don't actually need all these extra subdivisions in the middle. So what we're going to do, we're going to cancel that and we're going to add them, and we're going to add two separate ones and we're going to place them. One like so, and two. And this is so we can select the inside area. So if we go into X-ray mode and we go into wireframe mode and we want to select this middle set of dots, and then we turn off X-ray and go back into a normal view, and we're going to have selected these faces. So if we hit Alt E, we're going to extrude along normals, and we're going to be able to inset this a little bit. There we go, looking good. Now to add our diamonds around the edge, we're going to need to add a curve circle. So we're going to go ahead and add that, and actually this is placed almost perfectly. You might need to scale yours and move it around to get it right, but for us this has landed right in a nice position. Next we're going to go ahead and add a mesh cube, and we're going to scale it down. We're going to be creating a baguette diamond. But for now we're just going to play around with the size, just get it to fit in between those two edges. Just get it fitting in there nicely without actually touching. And there's a reason I haven't faceted this diamond yet, because I'll show you why in a second, but I might need to redo it depending on how it lands on the circle. We're going to lock all transformations, and we're going to add an array modifier. I'm going to look at it from the Z-axis. I've actually put this at the top, but I do want it on the right hand. It needs to go 90 degrees clockwise, so we're going to move that in a second. Let's just get our spacing right. You could actually do yours from the top, but I always like to do my stuff from the right. I don't know why, it's just a habit from making chains. I'm just going to apply all transformations to that again. Right, now we're going to add a deform curve, and we're going to select the circle, and that's going to link our cube to the circle, and when we turn up the count it's going to follow the circle round. I'm going to scale this in. Bring it in a bit closer, and assuming this was the face of the diamond, I'm going to scale that in on the y-axis, get that looking a bit more baguette shaped. So now we're going to look at trying to facet the diamond, and you'll see why I haven't already done that now. So assuming this front face was going to be the top of the diamond, what I would need to do is I would put some loop cuts on the side. So I'm just flicking at this, just like kind of trying to work out which one's going to be the front face. We're going to go ahead and add a couple loop cuts here. I'm going to click those into place. We're going to select this front face, and we're going to scale it in, and that's going to give us a baguette diamond looking thing. It does need scaling back a little bit, but let's just see if we've got the right face. Nope. And that is why I didn't make the diamond before I added it to the curve, because now it's really easy just to Control Z and change what face I'm actually editing. So we're just going to work out, this is the first diamond here, so now if I reverse the actions, I can do the exact same thing but on the other face. Please let me know in the comments if you do know a simple way at knowing which face is going to touch the circle, because I'd love to know that. But for now we've determined it's this face. We're going to add a modifier back, and yeah, there we go. So that little TV screen looking icon just hides the modifier, it doesn't take it away, so it just turns it on and off so you can see what you're doing. Now we're going to select all and we're going to scale it in on the y-axis. We're going to make this a bit thinner so it fits in there nicer and looks more realistic. There we go, that's looking much better. And we're going to up the count until we go all the way around that pendant. Now if we just scale this, then we'll be able to just get that last gap looking the same as the rest so it looks uniform all the way around. I'm going to look at this on the Z view. We're going to go into wireframe mode just to see where our diamonds are sitting in relation to the pendant. They're actually quite a lot off of the surface, so what we're going to do is we're going to select our circle and we're going to scale that circle, and that's going to bring our diamonds in. I'm just going to bring it in until we touch that line. The wire mesh view is actually really helpful for lining things up when you can't actually see inside the gap. So we're going to go ahead and apply our modifiers now. Wait, actually before I do, let me just check the count on this. Make sure we are not overlapping now. Probably just need to adjust the scale of that very slightly again. If you hold shift, you'll be able to do more micro movements with your scaling. In a moment we are going to undo what we've done because we forgot to delete the back face of this diamond. You might not want to actually go ahead and apply your modifiers yet. So I'm actually just going to reverse the steps really quickly and delete the back face of the diamond. We don't want extra faces, we don't want faces on faces and stuff like that because it's not good for the mesh. It might ruin how it looks in game, and also it's not very professional. So we're just going to trace back our steps. Right, now that's deleted, we can go ahead and apply everything, delete the circle. And now let's add that boolean modifier. And this is just going to help if it's overlapping at all, it's just going to help to like intersect it in a way that it's not going to be clashing. Now, the last thing I want to do is I want to add some prongs to the diamonds on the face just to make it look a bit more realistic. Again, this is another little trick I learned from Even Will Odds, so shout out him. So we're going to select our diamonds and we're going to use L to select a single diamond, and we're going to shift D to duplicate that diamond. We're going to drag it across here. And we're going to do separate selection. We're going to get rid of the scaled in bit at the bottom. Make sure to hit X-ray before you do this, otherwise that will happen. Now we're going to select these bottom vertices and we're going to extrude on a z-axis downwards, and we're going to get something kind of lengthy like a prong. Now if we press A to select all, we're going to scale this in a bit, we're going to move it across, and we're going to go into wireframe mode again. So we can see the height of the diamonds. We're going to line up the bottom with the bottom of the diamonds. Something like that. And I'm just going to adjust the placement on this one quickly. Get that sitting somewhere nice like that, and then this is where the magic happens. This is how we turn it from a diamond to a prong. So we're going to select it and we're going to do shade smooth, and there we go. Now adding an array modifier is going to be a bit of a nightmare with this, so you could individually just duplicate these and just add them. Obviously that's going to be very time consuming. So what I would usually do is duplicate some of these like so. Select all of these prongs and then Ctrl J to join them together. Get that second one lined up like that, stretch it right across. Now I did go a bit short here, do not go short because it's just going to make your life harder at the end, but just stretch right across the thing so it comes off the other end. Once you've done that, apply that, and then you can just duplicate these and just move them by hand. Now I'm just going to speed this process up because it's pretty much just all the same thing, but this is how we're going to mass add prongs without actually having to add them all individually. See, generally if you've gone with the center and you've done the widest part and you went off the edge like I should have done, then you'd be able to get every extra part without having to add individual ones. Because I haven't done that, I'm gonna actually have to move some of these in. I could just duplicate the ones that are inside, but for some reason I decided to start grabbing the ones on the outside because I've got to delete them anyway. But yeah, whether you duplicate them or move these, it don't really make a difference. If you need to fill in the end, just go ahead and move them around, get it looking right. But yeah, I'm gonna speed this up again. And of course, once you've finished adding all your prongs, you can just go ahead and add a boolean modifier, or you can just leave the circle up like so, and you can just go around and delete all the ones that you don't want, just as we did with the diamonds. But yeah, we are pretty much done here, guys. There we have it, a diamond encrusted medallion style pendant with baguettes around the outside. Hope you've learned some today. As I mentioned before, this is the first episode in a series I'm creating, so we're going to be making plenty more FiveM jewelry. We're going to be showing you different techniques. We're going to be making chains, bails, like all sorts of stuff. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes, and yeah, I'll see you soon.